So this morning, in the car on my way to the gym, of course, and I have on my seatbelt, right? And I go to like pull at it and I notice that it was stuck. Have you ever had that happen? So I pull at it again. I go to lean forward and I realize I have very limited mobility. I can't move at all. And so I pull at it and I pull at it and yet nothing happens. And so finally I hit the seatbelt release. I had to release myself in order to free myself to move. Are you picking up what I'm putting down already? Because listen here, God convicted me this morning like, child, you've been talking about being able to let things go. And sometimes God will give us those visual, tangible moments for us to realize the things that we're actually doing to ourselves and then want to blame other people for, right? What he put on my heart was the me hanging on to anything from the past is the same equivalent of choosing to be in that stuck seatbelt and then wondering why I can't move forward, wondering why I have limited mobility, wondering why my vision is stunted, my growth is stunted, right? It's like putting a baby in and I've used this analogy before, putting a baby in a 3-month onesie and the baby is 9 months old. And then the baby's all hunched over, right? And it can't even really move. It can't really stretch and all those things. But then all of a sudden you come across a 12-month onesie and you put the baby in it. And all of a sudden you're like, this almost fits. Man, I was really restricting that baby. But let's apply that to ourselves, scrub ourselves against that truth, right? What are we doing? What are we still hanging on to that is restricting our capacity for growth? That is limiting our movement, and then we choose to blame the thing as opposed to look at ourselves and our ability to free ourselves from those moments. Now, let's get this clear, right? Because it's not really us that's freeing ourselves. What we're doing is we're opening the door for Jesus to walk through and take us by the hand. And we're saying, Lord, I can't do this on my own. On my own, I'm stuck behind the seatbelt with limited mobility. However, I want to free myself so that way I can take your hand and move in the direction that you want me to go, whether that be left, right, up, down, or center, or everything in between. What God is putting on my heart is to remind us that we do have the power to affect change in our own lives. Now, is it easy? Absolutely not. The analogy of a seatbelt makes everything seem so simplistic, right? All you got to do is click, hit a button, and then we're free. But in reality, it takes more work. It takes acknowledging what our own personal ownership and our stagnation. It takes us being open to alternate possibilities. It takes us offering forgiveness in order to not necessarily let the other person off the hook, but to let ourselves be free from that moment, right? It takes us out of that cyclical loop of repetition that says we have to go over that story and that victim mindset again and again and again. And we have to allow that to become who we are as opposed to something that happened to us. Bottom line to this bottom line. At what place, stage, or whatever in between can we click the proverbial seatbelt in our lives to free us to move in the direction that he wants us to go? Not him, and him, or her, or they, or whatever. The direction that he wants us to go. But you know what I always say? These are my moments. It's your life. You're strong. You're powerful. You get to decide. And that's it. Bye.